Hello, Bo.
Hello. It's that time has come. The
The,
time has come.
the time has come.
How has 7 weeks already gone by? What in the actual hell?
Yeah, it's crazy to think that, one that it was only 7 episodes. I know
Yeah.
somebody had said something, um, what was it?
Oh
Something
boy.
like some of these like shows will get like 25 episodes and blah 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 blah, but this one's only getting seven and whatnot. And
I mean, well, think about it. If how the hell can you get 25 episodes in one season for this show? There's
right.
no way you could pull it off.
No,
So,
not at all. I mean, there's not enough like side
context.
stories, things like that. You might have been, like I said, I mean, there was a couple of like
hmm
stories that you possibly could have gone into, but
It wasn't
no,
that important to the main story because if you do too much of
exactly.
the side stories, then you kind of lose the whole point of the main story.
Yeah. Now, I will say one of my only like gripes about this episode was I
Ooh,
feel like there was a lot of just like stuff. Like there was a lot of different like scenes. There's a lot of different like um areas. There's a lot of different like stuff going on in this episode. That was like
yeah.
probably my only like gripe. But I mean, obviously, that would be the only thing I had because I love the show. So I mean,
Yes.
I enjoyed the fact that we saw so many different things and again, I think the thing, right, like the thing that upsets me about like the people that come on and like critique this, like, oh, it's not the game or whatever it is.
I know.
Why I get so frustrated with that is because like the thing is that everything that we saw in this episode comes back in a later form, right? It's going to be in next
Yes.
season. Like they'll tie this
Yes.
together, right? Like
Yes.
even the beginning when we heard the story of Eugene, right? So we heard that story. We didn't get the answer to that until the flashback episode.
Yes.
So like the
hmm
the thing is like a lot of people they can't see like it's hard because I think it's because of the generation, right? It's this
Yeah.
Netflix generation. It's this generation that doesn't have to like
They
when we
don't
were growing up, we had to wait a week to
wait.
see the to be continued episode.
Yes, I mean, now this generation doesn't understand patience. They want that instant gratification. I mean, our generation, in a way, did start that instant gratification in a way, because millennials is kind of like that generation where we started getting, if we wanted something, typically we would get it very shortly thereafter. But now Generation Z is like, I want it and I want it now kind of thing. And there's like no patience, there's no build up of like the excitement for a new episode. They just want it now.
Yeah, and that's frustrating because like
Yes.
I still remember the days of like like TGIF, which was, the Friday lineup on ABC where you'd have, those kind of like sitcom 30-minute shows and you
Yeah.
didn't get these, storyline shows or like you'd get like a special or something like that. Like Sabrina the
Mhm.
Teenage Witch might have an hour-long episode or something like that,
Yes.
or two episodes for the hour long or whatever you get. But
hmm
and again, those are sitcoms. They're meant to be 20 plus, show
Yes.
seasons, things like that. But I think the biggest thing for me, like watching this, is like it's okay having to wait those extra weeks, but
Yes.
I think that's where the criticism's coming from more than anything. But like again, this is also like this generation that's sitting here complaining. Like some of them were born like in like GTA 5's been the only GTA, right? Like we've
Yeah.
seen. We saw for years it would take in between like normal and now, GTA 6 supposed to come out next year. Like, I mean
Mm.
that's how that works. But I mean, like some of the
Yeah.
people that like when we were growing up, like when I think San Andreas was one of the last ones, and then all like you took a little bit before you got that next installment of GTA,
hmm
and then GTA 5 was such a masterpiece, right? That it took a while to make it. And again, the games, the graphics, everything is getting bigger and better. But I think
Better.
the biggest thing that like I feel like people who watch this show
hmm
need to like understand is like everything that's happening, even though like you're seeing like this quick moment on Scar Island, like you're gonna
Yes.
see more of that. Like,
Yes.
you're seeing all these quick like cut things
hmm
and so it's like quick moments. It all
hmm
comes back in the end at some point.
Yes.
It's like why I complain like me as well. I'm a big wrestling fan, right? In each
Yeah.
week you have technically you have about three shows each week. So you have Monday Night Raw, you have NXT on Tuesday, and then you have Friday
And
Night SmackDown.
SmackDown, yes.
Storylines that are going on Friday and Monday usually don't come together unless it's like a big pay-per-view where you might see some like
Mhm.
cross-brand stuff. But like
Yes.
each week on Raw, they're writing for the people on Raw. So
Hmm.
again, like something may seem stupid one week and you're like, well, why did they do that?
Do that.
And then the next thing you know, for the next show, whatever it is, they're building something else off of it. You just have to like wait for it.
Wait,
And there's just so much complaining about dumb things where you're just
I
like,
know.
hey, like they're gonna get around to it. And I get it, like the characters are different, but again, it's a TV show. It's not the
Yeah.
game as much
It's
as you want
not
it to be.
Yeah, it's not going to be an exact replication of the game. I get it. There are probably actresses who probably visually can represent Ellie better or who can visually represent Abby better. But it's not about that. We want, in my opinion, and you as well, we want actresses and actors who can portray these characters accurately. And yes, I mean, of course, don't go off the deep end and be like, let's make Ellie blonde. No. I mean, like you got to find the right actors and actresses to portray these characters correctly, and they have been portraying these characters for the most part correctly. I mean, minor changes of course, but again, it's a TV show. It's
Right.
not the game. This is another, we talked about this, I think either the last episode or the episode before, where this is a very rare opportunity for a video game to get another opportunity to portray the same story but change some aspects to it, to ways where like they maybe wanted to go this route instead of what they did in the game.
Yeah.
And so I every time I hear all these critiques on social media, and it's just like you guys are not getting the points. You guys are not appreciating what they are showing because they're doing such a great job. The only I agree with you with the gripe for this last episode. There was a lot going
It's a
on,
lot.
a lot going on. So, and my mother, I kind of have to be her, her guide on what's going on in the story because obviously she's never played the game. And so I kind of wish they were a little more, I don't know how they would do it, but I wish they were a little bit more um descriptive on what's going on with the wolves and the scars in terms of like yes, there is this thing as there is a place called Scar Island. That's their headquarters, that's their village. This is where all the scars live. There's just these little things where I'm like, okay, maybe they could have just described it a little bit better so the audience, like my mother, could understand, where are we?
Right. But
Who,
but again, we're going to see that in the start of season 3
season three,
because this is now going to be Abby's story. It's not going
yes.
to be Ellie's story. I mean,
Mm,
yeah, I mean that's a spoiler I guess for everybody there. My bad, but like you could
I think
see what they were
it's fair
going
enough.
with, the
Yes.
same concept day 1, day 2, day 3 with Abby. So that first meeting with Isaac is, that you're getting that we know is happening at the end of the season where they're like, "All right, Abby, like, Isaac wants to see you," and she's like, "Give me
Mm,
5 minutes." She walks out into Seattle. That meeting's going to be planning what was that attack that's going
Tack.
on Scar Island. So it's
Yes.
all going to make sense. But again, it's wading through, and you gotta
Uh-huh.
you gotta wait because that's what's happening. But I know that's like some of the I mean, there's just so many people. I think that I guess more than anything, I think in the age of social media, everybody can gripe about
Yes.
everything, and they don't have
Yes.
to just sit back and just be like, "Man, this is actually a masterpiece." Like
Yes.
it's the squeaky wheel gets the oil, right? Like that's the old adage that we always heard growing up. It's like the person who's going to complain is going to be the people that people listen to, the people who are like, this is really good. Like, I actually am still like, I love this of it. There's little
Mhm.
things, right? There's little things that we're going to talk
Yeah.
about along the way that we're probably like, I get why people do have this gripe, right? Like sometimes Ellie has those moments where in the game she was just so like she is so set on killing Abby
Abby.
that she doesn't think about anybody else. That's
Yes.
that's what we learned in the game. And in the show, you actually get this kind of like more remorseful,
Uh-huh.
caring version of Ellie,
Yes. Ellie's
which
very
we didn't get.
aggressive in the game.
Yeah. So for us, like I get it. If you played the game, that is a bit of a shock to you because you're expecting her to just pretty much look at Dina and just be like, I don't care.
I don't care
about
about
any
your
like
feelings. I don't care about, I
no,
mean,
I
I
don't care
care
about the
about you.
baby. Like
Yeah.
like
It's
right
like,
now, go back to Seattle yourself. Like
yeah,
whatever.
that's,
Like I'm staying
mhm.
here to finish my job, my mission kind
Yes.
of deal.
Yes, and yeah, Ellie in this version is way more considerate and emotional compared to the game, which we talked about this. I mean, it's fine. It doesn't hurt the main theme of the story. It doesn't, or the main theme
No.
of the conflict. It doesn't hurt it. It's just it kind of expands your mind about these characters in this story because you and I have such a define like this is how the story starts and this is how the story ends and this is how the characters are. We know that. But the fact that they're trying new things, it's like, oh, okay, maybe there was another side to Ellie that we could consider, or maybe
And
there was
again,
another side of Abby that we could consider.
we talked about this on a previous episode.
Yes.
If Ellie is a jerk, you don't want to
Want to
back
be a
her.
fan of her. You don't want to be a fan of her. Yes.
Not in television world. In the game
No,
world, it's whatever.
it's the
But
game.
yeah, exactly. But in a television where you're trying to
Yes.
build that sympathy, that empathy, you're trying to build that for that character. If Ellie goes in there and pretty much just looks at Dina and is like, why are you
Yeah.
pregnant with me? Like, why,
Yes.
like she did in the game.
Yes.
People are
Well,
not going to like that Ellie.
no, no, they're gonna hate Ellie. Yes,
Yes,
and
exactly.
and I agree with that. So that's why they had to nice her up a little bit, as I say. They had to make her likable,
Yeah. And
even
in
though
the
in the
same
game you
breath,
might not like her.
they made Dina tougher in the TV show
They
compared
they
to the
did,
game.
they
And
did.
and I think that makes you like Dina a little bit more in the game or in the TV show as
TV
well, is
show.
that she's not just some like pushover because in the game she's kind of a pushover.
She takes
So,
it all. Yeah, she kind of takes the I don't like to use the word abuse, but like she does take a lot of Ellie's aggression. She like is almost like a punching bag for Ellie. And it's like, man, poor Dina. So there comes a point where you kind of feel bad for her in the game. Like, damn, you have to put up with a lot.
but she gets her moment in the game too,
She does.
very late with how everything goes. Don't want to spoil that
Yeah, I don't
in
want to
case
spoil it, but
they.
she
I know they
does.
said they're going to change the ending, so who knows? But
I hope, here's my thing is I hope if they change the ending, fine. But there is a huge message that comes at the end of the game, and I hope they keep it because
yeah,
it's a very important lesson. Um, and not only in the story, but in real life too. And so I hope they really keep that because it's a very valuable lesson. Don't want to spoil it, but um, if they do change it, just don't change the message.
yeah, I agree. But again, um, a really good, I think,
Episode.
overall ending of it. Um,
A great way to end it. That was not the way I was. Well, as we were heading towards the end of the episode, I was like, okay, now I'm starting to see how this episode is going to end. Now I
yeah,
see where they're going to cut this off, and now it makes sense. And I'm like, okay, now I see how they're going to end the season. And I liked it. It was a very, very great way. I say near perfect way to end the season.
yeah, and I thought they would cut it off right where the screen goes to black. That's
Yeah,
right,
me
and that's what I've been predicting for a couple weeks. Is like I think they're just going to end it right there, but they give you that flip
that
of back to
taste.
day one, which is fine. I mean that's a good look because technically after that scene happens in the game, like I told you, it goes
Yes.
4 years earlier, and you're playing as Abby before
Um,
everything happens. So
Yes, and I'm sure they're gonna do that too in the game in the season three. But I definitely I like the way they did that because it's like, okay, rewind the clocks. Next season, this is the cliffhanger for the next season. We are gonna be talking about Abby and we'll see what she has gone through. And that's what I had to tell my mother because she's like, the moment they went black after Abby shoots at Ellie, she's like, "What the?" I can't say the word she said, but
yeah,
she's like, "Are you effing kidding me?" And I'm like, "Hold on, hold on." And then she was a little confused because I'm like, she's like, "Wait, what the hell's going on? Why are we at Abby right now in a different scene?" And so
tell us
and then
about it.
yeah. And then she's like, Was that a dream? Was Abby dreaming?" And I'm like, "No, mom, Abby was not dreaming. That really did happen." And she's like, she's all confused and stuff. And then so I had to explain it to her. But that was a taste of what we can expect for season three. This is all about Abby. I told her Ellie will likely not be hardly in the next season whatsoever. I mean, she will be in the next season, but compared to the past couple seasons, nah, she's hardly not going to be in that season.
Yeah,
Like
I
we're
mean
not going to see Ellie a lot.
she'll more than likely be in those probably in the last couple episodes.
Episodes.
Maybe you might get some flash forwards, flashbacks kind of things, but
Yeah,
it'll probably be. I mean, depending on how many episodes is, I'm sure season three will be more than 7 episodes as well. I think if HBO's smart,
eight
they
or
probably
nine.
try to go like, yeah, 8 or 9 there.
Yeah,
Maybe 10 if they want to get the whole season wrapped up, like the whole second game wrapped up.
in case they
Um,
don't get renewed for season four.
well, I mean, what's the storyline for season four, right? Like that's the
I
big thing because I mean, you could do the post stuff that you end up doing, or you could do, I mean, and you know what I'm talking about, with Abby and
Ellie.
yeah, you can get that, but is that a whole season's worth of episodes? Is that, I mean, that's because you're really not getting a whole like you'd have to go a
Well,
lot into that. And there'd
that's
be, I think there'd be a lot of slow episodes if that's the case, and that's kind of not what you want from this series.
yeah, true. I just who was it? Was it Craig or Neil? One of them said that they are planning on having 4 seasons with this show. One of
Well,
them said 4 seasons. I like 100% said heard four. I didn't hear
sh-
three. And again, who knows what they're gonna do? They've added stuff into the story
they
to help
have,
make it,
yeah,
the way it is. So they could add more things to the storyline to help make it 4 seasons. But I think you're in a way, gosh, I don't know. Season four could be a slow. I don't know. I don't know. Let's just like take it one season at a time. We're done with season
exactly.
two. Now we know what season three is going to be about. It's going to be about Abby. And then however long it's going to take them, then we can worry about season four. Because I mean, I can't imagine it won't be renewed. I don't know. I don't know. I could be wrong.
They're gonna have to pitch their vision for that fourth season because at this point now I feel like you got more people who are playing the game too to kind
Yeah.
of understand it. So
Yeah,
ep-
which I still need to do.
episode seven, you do. Episode seven's called Convergence. That's the episode, the season finale
I liked it.
for season two. Starts off with the Dina Arrow scene with Jesse. And the big thing that comes from this scene is the fact of um, Jesse, or excuse me, of Dina letting Jesse know like she can't die, she has to live. Um, and then also she gets offered the whiskey for the pain, and she says no. That's kind of the big thing.
Yeah,
But
that was the big hint.
yeah, it was a very big hint for everybody, especially Jesse, who did not know what was going on, as he has to painfully remove a
Oh.
arrow from a crossbow through her leg. So that was
Mm.
a good scene. And then, of course, he takes care of her from there. So that's kind of how the episode starts off for it.
Wouldn't you like, okay, I get what he means, like he can't pull the arrow out because he could cut an artery,
Right.
but like, couldn't he still like cut an artery by going the other by
I think
I
the
don't get the
way
concept.
because the arrow bolt, so obviously, like I don't know. I mean,
It
the way
was like
that
a
like that yes, exactly. So if you pull back, it was going to catch something. So because it went through
oh.
clean, it's just got to keep going through clean, kind of deal. So
Oh,
the
okay.
the sharp part's already past everything. It would just be like the stick portion of that. And so you could just cut off the end, like the feathers or whatever might be on the back of the bow, and then
Uh-huh.
just push through the wooden part of that. So like the actual
Okay.
like the stick part of it.
So she really like didn't have to do the whole arrow. He could have just cut off like half of it and then just pulled the rest.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's not saying that it's still not painful. That's hella painful, especially
Right.
since they did not have any painkillers
Yeah,
in an
and she
apocalyptic
couldn't do
world.
the whiskey for it because of
She's
baby.
pregnant.
Yeah.
She's prego.
Yeah. So you do get the scene after that. Ellie finally gets back. And this is a scene that's pretty spot on
Yeah.
uh, with what happens after the killing in the elevator, like the underground area of the hospital. The complaints have been, of course, that Ellie, she tells Dina the story of what happened with Joel. And then like when Dina's like, well, then we need to get back to Jackson. Like Ellie's very just like, yeah, we do. And in the game, that's not what you get. Ellie's like, no, I'm still here on a mission. Like, yes,
Mm,
I get it. I killed this girl, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But like, there's still more to go. And I can
yeah.
see where people were a little bit upset about that because they're like, well, listen, like,
Ellie
this,
was not that convincing. She didn't care that uh oh gosh, where was I going with this? She didn't care about what Dina thought. Dina's
yeah,
like, we got to go back to Jackson. We got to go back to, and Dina, and Elle's like, F off. No, I'm not done.
yeah,
Are you kidding me? And no, Ellie was not convincing at all. And they even said at the end of this episode behind the scenes, they're like, there were so many times where Ellie could have just been like, okay, we need to stop because like all the signs were saying stop, stop going after Abby. There's going to be huge consequences if you continue on pursuing Abby.
yeah,
And she kept doing it, but in the game she was very adamant, I'm not stopping, we're going. But in the TV show it was like you could talk her out of it, and I can see how people can be a little upset. I mean, I'm a little like, okay, Ellie needs to be a little bit more hard-headed than this.
yeah. And I think that's where you get a little bit of it. But like, we'll get to that point. We do get a point where Ellie finally kind of has that moment.
Oh, she does, she
Yeah.
does.
So Ellie and Jesse, they're going out to go find Tommy. That's a pretty important
Sorry.
part of this. And again, and another thing, another bit of criticism that we've seen is that they've kind of made Jesse look like an asshole because he's just so just like, I don't care about you, Ellie. Like that's how he's acting. But like in the game, when you're Ellie, you're almost ambushed, and Jesse's the one that saves you, and
Saves
he
you.
doesn't even with all the information that he learns, which
Uh-huh.
I don't think in the game, I don't think Dina actually ever tells him.
I don't think so.
Um,
Jesse never finds out
I could be
why.
really wrong about that,
I
but
don't
I
think
don't
he.
think I think she tells Ellie like I'll tell him in time or something like that, but I don't think
Hmm.
she ever tells him before what eventually happens to Jesse, which we'll talk about
Yes,
here in a second. Um, but yeah, so I mean, I don't even know if Jesse ever really knew that he was
I
going
don't
to be
think
a
he does.
father in the game. In the show, he does because you have the moment with Ellie where they're walking together, and she lets it slip, because he guesses it technically. But he does treat her like Jesse has like that's one of the big I feel like fallbacks about his character is that they almost have Jesse, and I don't ever remember him in the game like being an asshole to Ellie.
No, he never was. I mean,
They do split up because he wants to go rescue Tommy and she wants to
Tommy,
go to the aquarium. Like that does happen.
that does happen, but I don't remember them having a big old argument or anything like that. They're just like, okay, you do your thing, I do my thing, be safe, and we'll meet up back at the theater kind of thing. Or
Exactly.
something like that. Like Jesse was like, didn't argue, was not a confrontation, he just did it.
No, he was a
Um,
really good character of just like being like out of all the people he was like because Dina really wasn't happy with the way that Ellie was doing things, but Jesse was like I'm going to go with Ellie because I also respected Joel and they killed Joel, so like what Ellie says is what we're going to do. That's what you kind of get from Jesse in the game is like he's like following you,
that's true.
where
That's
it's
true.
vice versa I feel maybe in the
In
game
in the TV yeah,
or in
in
the
the
TV show. Yeah, thank
TV
you.
show, yeah, because I honestly thought when they did that vote, I thought he voted yes, and when he said I voted no,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh wow, I feel like Jesse, the way we see Jesse, he would have said yes.
Exactly. Exactly. If there would have been a vote in the game, I don't think Jesse votes no kind of deal.
I think he would have said yes.
Yeah, exactly. Um, but also during this walking situation, you get this scene where there's a Scar youth that gets cornered, and then it's the guy that we originally saw in the truck that Isaac pulls out with him. It's that soldier, his like little buddy
Oh,
that was
oh,
guarding the
yes,
door.
yes.
Yeah, so he's the one that's in there. Ellie's trying to like come to the rescue of the Scar youth, and Jesse looks at her and pretty much just says, "We're not doing that because I have to live now because I have a son that I want to get back to Seattle. So I don't have time for you to be a hero, and I don't have time to be a hero. Let's let them continue to fight their war." Which again, I understand that concept from
I do
Jesse.
too.
I really do. And again, this is not a scene that's in the game, so it's not something you could kind of, like put your head around of like, oh, what is the right thing? I think the right thing is what Jesse did in that moment because you were outgunned, outnumbered. So, like,
Yes. Like I agree with Jesse on that part.
yeah,
Is that they would have been a suicide mission. They would have died.
I would throw a Molotov.
Of course you would. Of course you would. And you're guaranteeing that it would hit all how many members were there? How many wolves were there? Like
It was
four or
like
five?
four. It was like four, but you
You're
also might have hit the Scar Kid too. So
yeah, no, no. I'm with Jesse on this. You can be an Ellie moment. That could be your Ellie moment where you're like, I'm gonna go save the Scar. Nah,
if
nah.
you throw it at like the back guy though, he catches fire. They don't know where it's coming from. They're all dazed. Then you pop, pop. You think you take care of it, and then you tell
I
the
mean,
Scar Kid, "Hey, remember who saved you. Remember this face. Ellie has a face you can't forget.
yes, but you are
Thank you."
she does have a face that you can't forget. But you are guaranteeing you are like that's a high risk. I don't know. I'm with Jesse on this, man. I get it. I get it. You want to save everyone. You want to save the kid, but he was right. It's not our war.
Ah, you
It's
live to
not,
fight another day. Um, in
if
the
you
game
want
at
to,
least. In the game, if that's a scene, how do you do that? You throw something, you
okay, if
distract
it
somebody, and then
yes,
you
if
have
it's
to
a
pop the other ones and save. If that's like the mission,
I mean, if we're in the game, then yes, I would have saved the Scar because it's a game. But if we're talking about real life, no, I probably wouldn't have done it. I probably would have just been like, I am so sorry, kid. I'm so sorry, but I can't do it.
sucks to suck, Scar. That's what you would have said as they took him and beat him.
I wouldn't say like that.
Nuts.
No, yeah, that's how I was. Oh, we'll get the next one.
Maybe if there's less wolves around him, we'll save him the
If there
next
was
time.
like if there was two wolves with one Scar, then yes, I would have been like, okay, it's two against two. I like those odds. We can do it. But if it's four against two, nah, I don't like those odds. And especially since if they have assault rifles.
Yeah.
If they yeah, I don't like those odds. If it's just like a pistol, then I would consider.
I mean, you
But
gotta do what you gotta do,
you're
I
gonna
guess.
but you're gonna be if the apocalypse comes, you're the leader. So you're telling me that you're gonna tell us to go and save that Scar?
I would get to a vantage point, and then we'd just pop him from the vantage point.
Okay,
And the
if we're at a
Scar would
high
look
point,
around.
if we're at a high point looking down at this, then yes, I would have shot at them.
Okay.
But if they were on the ground
You're
level,
fine. You're fine.
no, 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 we're not fine.
We move to the Costco wholesale, where we find
I
Isaac,
know.
who's plotting the raid on Scar Island, which eventually we do get to see the
See,
beginnings of that.
can you imagine having your space at a Costco?
I
Imagine
would
all the.
love that.
I would love that too. I would love to have.
Costco's are great.
I've only been inside twice, but their food is really good.
Costco's great. Yeah, the double chunk chocolate cookie.
Okay, too much chocolate.
Five big booms.
Huh? It's a five big boom. I just had their big pizza and I think maybe a hot dog.
Do you not know about the Costco universe?
I've only been in twice. I've only been inside Costco twice in my life. I don't have a membership. I'm broke as hell.
You don't know about the Costco people, Big AJ?
Huh?
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's
Okay.
AJ, Big Justice, their family. Do you not know about the Do you know who the Rizzler is?
That sounds it rings a bell. The Rizzler, it kind of rings a bell. It sounds like something I've heard before, but I couldn't tell you what he looks like or what it is.
I'm done with you. Um,
It's not my
Isaac's
fault my
Isaac's
family's broke.
no, it's not. They're on social media.
Do you think I'm on social media very much?
Yes, I do.
No. I did send you a reel. You got to watch it.
Well, I'm gonna send you reels now of AJ and Big Justice
Okay, so
and
you
the
can
and the
educate me.
Costco people. Yeah,
Yeah, educate me.
I'm just gonna
Continue.
send them all to you.
Okay,
Every
don't send it.
every time they do five big booms, and you have to hear them go boom 5 times, you're gonna love it.
No, don't send me like 10 reels in like 10 seconds.
Oh,
Like,
I'm
no,
going to. I'm just gonna
no.
go on their web on their page and just send you stuff. I'll screen
Oh,
record off TikTok for you so I can send it
oh.
to you. You're
Yeah,
just
because
gonna
I don't
get
have
nothing
TikTok people.
yet. You'll get it. So
American buy it.
we find out, of course, that Isaac's mad because Abby's run off, which we all know this, right?
Yes.
Because obviously Ellie's hunting her.
Yes.
So we find out that the woman that's in there with them, who we remember from one of the earlier episodes, who lost her son, she's talking to Isaac, doesn't understand why Abby's so important, and he's explaining that like there's not like actually any leaders other than Abby amongst this wolf group. Um, and of course,
Very
she's
true.
talking about like Manny, which Manny is obviously a follower, not a leader kind of
Mhm.
situation. And that's what you're learning during this time is that obviously they've put a lot of faith in Abby, at least Isaac has. Not everybody else maybe has that faith in Abby because the last line of that I think is a really good one when she looks at him and says, "Well, she's not here, is she? She's run off. So what are you going to do?" And he was like, because he explains that this could be their last night alive because of what their raid is and what they're planning to do against Scar Island.
Tr- Yes. Yes. True. True. Um, does Isaac and well, I know the we never really known that Asian woman's name. I forgot her name. Did they ever say
Uh,
her name?
yeah, it's her, whatever her son's name, like the last name, I think it was
Leon.
like, was it, uh, I thought it started with a T.
Well, his son, her son's name is Leon.
Yeah, but what was the last name?
Oh shoot, I don't remember.
Because that's how she's listed as is like the last name, their family last name
Oh,
or whatever.
that's how she's like, commander, sergeant, or whatever her rank is,
Yeah,
sergeant something. Um, okay, well, anyways, does Isaac ever find out the reason why Abby like kind of did what she did? Isaac never finds out what Abby did, right?
I don't think so.
Okay. But I mean, just because Abby has disappeared doesn't mean she's ran off. She maybe has some personal crap going on, you know?
Yeah, but
Don't give up faith that quickly.
not in the
I
apocalypse.
I mean, I guess. I guess. But he's right. Abby is a leader. And,
Exactly. And
you
she's
know,
not there right now.
not there right now, but she could come back.
She could come back. You're right.
Are you trying to find it?
Yeah, I'm trying to look for it real quick because I can't remember what it was. I said it in one of the previous episodes, but I don't remember what the name was. I'll get there. Don't worry. What? Hold up. I'll figure this out. I'll
Okay.
figure it out.
He'll figure it out.
Last name was Park. Her name is Elise Park. The character is.
Oh, Elise, that's
Yeah,
right, because
that's right.
the actress who we talked about, who we feel like is so underrated, she does say her name, Elise. That's
Yes.
right. She does say that.
Yeah, when she's talking about losing her son. So that is Elise Park is the character name of, and she's the one who's telling Isaac that like he may have put his faith in the wrong people.
Yes,
We do get a
which she
flip
did
over
not.
to the bookstore. They get in, they realize Tommy's not there. It's not good. And we finally get kind of the Jesse Ellie relationship that we're used to in there. Ellie picks
Yeah.
up a book, which I thought, I'll be honest with you, because you go through like a bookstore and a toy store at some point in Seattle.
Okay.
I thought Ellie got a toy while she was there and put it like in her backpack for the baby
I
when
feel
she.
like you're right.
I thought that that happened, and maybe I just missed it because he has that little like stuffed elephant thing, and I thought she got that while they were in Seattle. Um,
Yeah, stuffed elephant. Okay. I
yeah,
feel
but
like you're right. Yes.
there's
Sounds right.
it's not like for some reason, unless I just missed it, it's actually not in the game. So the stuffed elephant does eventually come around, but like
Okay.
it's not during that point. So I thought you like picked up a book and kept a book or like kept a toy or something,
Yeah.
but you just look at everything and then you get this like during that time you're getting this really good backstory with Jesse and he's talking about his mom and stuff like that during the game. In the book, you're or in the TV show, you're getting where they sit down and chat with one another, and he's kind of telling a story of how there was a traveler that came through because he doesn't love Dina like Ellie loves Dina,
Uh-huh.
but
It's
like
two
he's telling
different
a story
loves.
where he almost went to Mexico with a group that came through from Alberta because there was a attractive girl who's a terrible painter and he bought four paintings from her because
Yes,
he liked her kind of deal. And then of course Ellie makes a comment and then he said, "Well, if I had gone to Mexico, you'd be dead right now."
pretty much.
And she's like, "Well, yeah, you're right." You get the call from the radio that there's a sniper pinning people down. They think
Tommy,
immediately Tommy. They
which it
go
is.
upstairs. Yes, it is. They go upstairs. Jesse looks over to where the action is. At the same time, Ellie sees the aquarium. She sees the Ferris wheel. She says, "I bet you that's where Abby's at." And so she's ready to go get Abby. Jesse's not. They have a long back and forth. And this is where you finally get to see, I think, the Ellie that we've all been kind of waiting
Wait
for.
for. Yes,
Um,
this is the Ellie we know,
yeah,
where she just goes at you. There is no in between. It goes from 0 to 100 like that. It's like a switch with Ellie. And so she like went she went all out on Jesse. And I hate to see, here's a it's they both were right, but they also kind of both were wrong because Jesse's point is correct. Like you in order to survive and have a solid group, you need to consider others and stuff like that. If you want to survive, you have to consider others. But then I get where Ellie's coming from because then it's not fair uh for people like her who's kind of the outcast and is all by herself. I mean, she's like, screw your community. I watched somebody I love
right.
die right in front of me.
I
So
thought that
who
was
do
an
you,
amazing line, by the way. I thought
yeah,
that
so
was
who
amazing writing.
it was a great writing and a great execution. And it's just another example of you can't say which one's right and which one's wrong because they both are right,
Right.
but they also can be both wrong. So I want to agree with Jesse. I do. I see his viewpoint, but on the other hand, I see Ellie's point.
Yeah.
Because if you watch somebody you love die right in front of you and get beat to death, and you had to watch it, I would want to hunt that person down and kill them.
Right.
I would want to as well. Even that's even if it's not the greatest purpose of the community.
Right. Exactly. Because as she says, my community was killed in front of my eyes and beaten to death right there. And
Yes.
that was where Jesse, I think, kind of has that moment too of like, well, I mean, go do your thing then because I'm not going to do it because my community is Tommy who's still out there, which again, technically Ellie's community is Tommy as well. But you know look past that fact, whatever, that's not what
Yeah.
what we'll roll with here. But again, in that mindset of like, okay, whatever, like he's right kind of deal.
Yeah.
You get the you get after that they get to the boat dock. Ellie's looking for a boat, like she said she needs to find a boat. In the game you actually have to like kill some wolves and steal their boat was what you
Is that
do.
way to
Yeah,
okay.
it's
Okay.
a bit of a journey, and then you have to ride the boat through like not so great like situations where there's like scars and wolves fighting each other. Like you end up
Okay.
getting in there and like the scars think you're the wolves and they start shooting at you, and so you have to go kind
Yes.
of hide, and then other wolves pull up and then they get into like a firefight with one another. So
Yeah. Which is, I mean, we'll see that in season 3 for sure.
oh definitely there's gonna be
Uh
a lot of war.
oh, there's gonna be a lot of war. But there wasn't. I don't remember this. I think there was a cutscene where you see Ellie get on a boat and she starts driving towards the aquarium
Hmm.
in the game, but there was never a time where there was like a tidal wave that knocked her off, right?
No, there you fight the tidal waves. Yeah.
Oh, you do. So there
Because
was a tidal
you end up
wave.
having to swim because the boat like loses its power, like loses gas while you're like in the middle, and then you
Okay.
get hit by a wave, and then you swim and you get hit by like two more waves before you get to the aquarium. So and you're
Okay.
like
I don't remember
fighting to
that
get out of the
part.
water at the same time, and you're in this dark water.
Okay.
So
I
that
don't
does
remember that
happen,
part.
yes.
That does happen. Okay. I don't remember that part,
The
but
only
okay.
thing is you don't get to like
You
you don't
don't
wash up on Scar
Scar
Island and your
Island.
boat doesn't like perfectly land there.
I
That's
know.
I know that was a scene where a lot of people were just like, is this net like was that scene even necessary? And it was necessary to see again everything that Isaac was talking about. We saw those boats that were going that way earlier.
Yes.
That was important to see that there was an attack on Scar Island. Like all that's important. Ellie
Yes.
being there,
No, because that never happens to her, right?
right? You don't see
Okay, I
that. At
didn't
least,
think
yeah,
so.
not because I mean I'm past that point, and that never happened to her.
That I didn't think so. But it is necessary because we have to show you what's about to happen, the attack.
Yeah,
Because how else are they going to introduce that without, because technically it's Abby that's involved, like that sees all this. So Abby sees all of it, Ella does not. But we have to show you like, hey, this big old attack is going to happen, but without using Abby, because Abby's
exactly.
the one who's there through the attack. So yeah, so I get it. It's not a big deal. I mean, it she doesn't get killed, and it just kind of reinforces the idea that this cult is an effed up group.
That is true.
I
Yeah.
if you already didn't think they were effed up, I mean, you had a six. It looked like a 5 or 6 year old telling his mother, gut her. And I'm like,
Yes.
if you can tell a 5 or 6 year old who's an innocent child to gut somebody, that just shows you how effed up this their fights are.
Yeah, absolutely. And we get to, we see that scene. So we do get it. Ellie's begging for her life. Eventually they drop it because the town starts sounding alarms. They have to get back to try to defend their
The
village.
village.
And that allows Ellie to get back on the boat. She gets to the aquarium, and we get a pretty dramatic scene in the aquarium. Now, some of the differences here with this scene,
Hmm.
um,
There's quite a few.
Mel and Owen obviously are there. This is pretty on point of what you're seeing. The difference is you shoot Owen first, and you just shoot Owen
Yeah,
because he tries to advance at you. Because originally what happens is the whole bring me that map, point to me where it's at, blah 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 blah, like
that's that's on point.
whatever. And
Yeah,
she does let him know like you guys don't have to die. This is up to you. And then she does shoot Owen. When she shoots Owen, that's when Mel grabs a knife,
knife.
comes after Ellie, tries to kill her, and you turn it and hit Mel with it in the game. So you end up stabbing
Yes,
Mel in the throat.
yes.
It's not like here's my thing. I think the show made it heartbreaking. In the game,
Yeah.
in the game, it's not as heartbreaking
Hmm.
because Mel attacks you. And again, we talked about this, right? One of the things about being in the video game is like your character, like you are Ellie when you're in the video, you're Joel, you're Abby, you're that person. So when you get put in those shoes, like your whole mindset is like, I got to win the game, right? Like it's different. So
Yeah. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. Yeah. It doesn't matter if like, what happens. You are the game. Yes, it was it heartbreaking. Well, not heartbreaking, but was it sad to find out that, you had to kill Mel and she was pregnant? Yes,
yeah,
it's sad, but you kind of move past that quickly and you're like, yes, they're dead and like now
yeah.
it's time for Abby.
In the show,
You
you don't get that opportunity, right?
no,
Because you have that moment where Mel is telling Abby how to pretty much perform a C-section to save her baby.
Ellie.
Yeah, Mel's telling Ellie that. Yes.
You said Abby, but yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
sorry. So Mel's telling Ellie how to give a C-section to save her baby. And
Hmm.
you're sitting there just like, holy crap. Like this is,
Yeah.
and in that moment, like Ellie's thinking, well, this could be Dina, right? Like
Yes.
that's where she's at mentally during that moment. That's why it's a very, I mean, it's very much more, in my opinion, it's very messed up, right? It's way
Hmm.
more messed up in the TV show because they give you that like Mel was one of those people who were like, yes, she was involved, which Tommy eventually tell like, hey, those guys, they were involved. They were there. They were there when all this happened. So no matter what you feel bad about, the fact that she was pregnant and you killed her, whatever, that's not like,
Hmm.
don't feel that way, is pretty much what
Yeah.
he's telling her because like they were there. They could have stopped Abby and they didn't. So
True.
they're as rightfully wrong as Abby is, who did all the damage.
Damage. Yeah.
So that's where I mean that to me is like one of the big kind of moments in the show is just that moment is so gut wrenching because of like the way
Hmm.
that they made it. They made that death way more because like in the game you reveal that Mel's pregnant.
Hmm.
In the
Yes.
TV show, Mel is immediately she grabs her neck, falls, unzips her jacket, and she's like, "You got to cut me." She's pulling up,
Hmm.
her shirt to like, you know, to show
Yeah.
Abby or to show Ellie what to do. And again, you don't get that in the game. It was way more gut wrenching in the show. I think they did a phenomenal job of that for certain.
They did. It's funny because I was like expecting Ellie to walk into, because if I remember correctly, Owen and
Hmm.
Mel were in a big aquarium. Well, I mean, they are in an aquarium, but I'm just saying they're in like in a room with a big tank,
Yes, they're in a big room. They're in a big open room
open
compared
room
to the little side
compared
room that they're in.
in the tunnel. It looked like they were like in a tunnels or something.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, I guess that's not a big deal, but it was a very much a much a heartbreaking scene. They did a fantastic job of showing the consequences of getting revenge and getting vengeance and
Yeah.
how it can hurt innocent people like a baby, an unborn baby. Um I I don't know how else they would do it, but it's like I guess the trajectory and everything. I don't know. I'm analytical like this, but like I'm thinking Owen's hella tall, Mel is short, the bullet
Went through his throat.
went through his throat, but like when she like her top of her head was like at his throat. I don't know. I'm just analytic. I'm just
Well, he was, I think the way they
critiquing
did it, he
like
was kind of crouched down. Like when he
I
turned to
mean, I
pull the
guess.
gun, he was kind of crouched down. So,
I
but
mean,
again,
again,
yeah.
I'm just it's just and being analytical. It's a TV show. It doesn't have to be that accurate, but I, I don't know. I think it was a really great episode. I think maybe just maybe execution wise for Mel, maybe could have been different. I don't know.
Well, I think the reason why they did that so much with Mel and because they didn't make it as like in the game, every bit of those wolves, they were aggressive. They were aggressive people from the very beginning. There wasn't one that
Yes.
was not aggressive. Yes, Owen does save Ellie by saying like, "Hey, don't do that. Leave her alone, whatever."
Hmm.
Um, but in the game, like or in the TV show, when they're telling Mel to like put, Dina to sleep,
Hmm.
like Mel is like
Kind
very
of has
hesitant. Like
hesitant.
she's
Yes.
very just like, what are we doing here? Like this is not how this is supposed to go down, kind of deal.
Yeah, Mel is
Um,
like more. She's like the least quote unquote wolf
we didn't
out
come
of.
here for to do this to Dina. We didn't come here to do this to Ellie. Obviously she didn't know who those people were, but like we didn't come here for that. We came here for Joel. And even
Mhm.
then, like I don't think everybody knew that the plan was to kill Joel. I think only Abby knew that. Which again parallels
Oh,
Ellie,
that's
right?
right.
Ellie goes to
Yes,
Seattle, doesn't tell anybody the whole reason why she's there is to kill Abby, right?
that's
Like that's not
right.
really what's ever been told. And the same concept with the Wolves. I think probably the only person knew what Abby was going to do was Owen.
Owen.
Manny was going to be on board with no matter what. He probably
Yes,
wanted to kill him anyway. So
probably.
if Abby wouldn't have, Manny probably would have. So
Hmm. Yeah, and then yeah, and of course Mel didn't know. She wouldn't agree with it. Nora, I feel like I think she would have agreed to kill Joel. I think
yeah.
Nora would have agreed to it as well. Mel is the only one that would have been like, okay, we need to stop. Like this is not who we
E-
are. Blah blah blah.
Exactly. In the
Yeah,
game, though, she does attack you, and that makes
she
sense of why
does.
you kill her. In this
Uh,
one, they did a really good job of making her almost be like an innocent death that shouldn't have happened.
but yes, but they also kind of left out the part of like the reason Mel attacked Ellie in the game is because well, Mel liked Owen. She
I'm
really
pretty
liked
positive
him.
that's the
Probably
father of the baby, isn't it?
it's the father of the baby.
Yeah.
Yes, it was Owen's baby. Spoiler. So yeah, because they never said like Mel's pregnant. Who's the father? They kind of didn't really project that in the scene of like because they were arguing, they were
Right.
bickering with each other. So
And he was saying, "I'm going to go get Abby. I'm going to go save Abby."
yeah, and
That was his
they
mindset.
that was his mindset, and Mel's like, no, screw her, whatever.
Yeah.
But yes, Mel's baby, it's Owen's baby. But in the game, if I remember correctly, Mel attacks Ellie because Mel still likes Owen and
Well,
loves
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
And like, of course, the feelings of like, how dare you? I'm gonna kill you, you bitch. Um, But in the show, they kind of let that part out. I'm sure they'll get around
Yeah,
to
we'll
it.
find out in season three because
Three,
the original dynamic is I'm pretty positive that Owen and Abby actually have a relationship before he
yes,
has one with Mel,
Mel.
because Abby was not really wanting that relationship
Hmm.
until it was gone, kind of deal.
Yes,
And then Mel and Owen
Owen.
obviously have that relationship, and they have it when they go to Jackson. Um,
Oh,
so
right.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
already in that relationship when they get to Jackson. Because Abby in the game makes comments about like, well, I'm sure you two will be happy or whatever it is before she wanders off, kind of deal.
That's right,
Which
because
we
they
didn't
have a little
see,
tiff.
right? We don't see that in the game because it wasn't important at that point.
Well, I
Or
mean,
we
we
didn't
might
see it. We
see.
don't see it in the TV show in the
I
early part going to Jackson, but we
Yeah,
should see it,
we
of
should see in
course. Yeah,
season three.
yeah,
Yes, because we'll see them arrive in Jackson and stay in that lodge
yeah.
and probably talk it out. So we'll see it probably. But yes, just circle back. Mel and Owen were in a relationship, and Mel was pregnant with his child. So yes, that's and so yeah, it's just showing the consequences of violence and vengeance. The innocent might die.
Right. In the theater, we get the final kind of scenes here of at least Ellie for what could be the foreseeable future with
Future.
season three, because we don't know exactly where they're going to start. Obviously, it should start day one with Abby. We would think that's where it's going to start. Who
Yep.
knows exactly what it's going to be day one in Seattle with Abby? We'll find out more when season three rolls around, which could be 2 years from now at this
Oh
point.
gosh,
So.
I hope not.
So got to give those actors a chance to get a break and then get them back.
Well, they can't waste too much time because they're going to get older, and you got to make sure that if they're going to start with Abby's story, she can't look any different than what she did 2 years before.
That's true. That's
So
true.
they kind of, in a way, they can't waste time. They kind of have to get
They'll
the
bring
ball
her back
rolling.
and she'll be buff.
She'll be. I don't.
That's wait, what happened here? That's what we.
Yeah, what the hell happened? Day one, you were a regular.
Yeah, she'll come back looking like Brock Lesnar. They'll finally make her body style that way.
Oh my gosh, I hope
We'll be like,
not
what's
because I'm.
happening here?
It's so unattractive.
Oh, geez, man. That's rude of you to say.
Uh,
Uh,
it's not. She's huge. I don't know how Owen. Anyways,
how dare you, Bo?
I
How
don't know
dare
how
you?
Owen did it because I'm like, I'd be nervous if she would take my dangling and throw it across the room.
Jeez Louise.
She's bro.
Did
If,
this just
if
become an
people, if you
X-rated
guys,
show here?
I didn't say the word. I said
Yeah,
dangling.
that's an innuendo
That could be anything.
or a synonym of some sort.
That could be dangling could be anything.
I don't think so, buddy.
I'm just saying, people, if you have not seen the bulk Abby in the video game, she is huge and it is scary. And it's like, Owen, doesn't that scare you?
How dare you? How dare you talk bad about be a person that's talking bad about body figures? Can't believe you'd body shame like that.
Oh
How
my
dare you, Bo?
gosh, continue.
Get into the theater, and it is the scenes where we finally get a little bit of uh, uh, again,
Ellie
we're
and
getting
Jesse.
Ellie and Jesse having that moment, and I think a great moment
Hmm.
is Jesse looking at Ellie and saying, at the end of the day, I realized that if something were to happen to me, you would burn an entire forest down to try to save me. And you
Yes.
get that really good moment of like, because they've always had a really good, what felt like kind of like an older brother, younger sister relationship.
Yes.
We've seen that throughout the game. We've seen it through the show in Jackson. We kind of see that kind of mentality, really close friends, kind of brother sister like. And for him to say that, he realizes like, yes, maybe I'm not a good guy, maybe I'm not a bad guy. You're not a bad person. Like this is,
Mhm.
I realize like why you are the way that you are. And he was like, when I'm sitting there thinking about it, you would burn an entire forest down. And that's Joel, right? Joel would have burnt down an entire forest to save Abby. Or to save Ellie. He killed an entire hospital to save Ellie. So I mean,
Yeah,
at
he
the end of
did.
the day, I mean, she's just doing what Joel would do for the people she loves, and that's what she's
Yes.
learned from Joel, whether right or wrong. But you hear the commotion in the front room. Jesse and Ellie go running. The door opens, and it is the scene
Pop.
that a lot of people who did not play the game they were not ready for it. Jesse gets shot in the head. It's great shooting by Abby, by the way. She is a
Amazing
trained
shooting.
killer. Um,
Yeah. Amazing.
to see that scene, because like that was the crazy part, right? Like so, like Callie had forgotten about that, And so
Hmm.
I'm sitting there just kind of like I know it's coming. I'm like, oh,
I know it's
it's
coming. Yeah.
about to suck, and I'm just watching it, and then all of a sudden, like pop happens, Jesse hits the floor, and Callie was like, "Whoa, crap! When did that happen?" I was like, "You don't remember that?" And she was like, "No, that's insane." But I will say it's probably one of the most like obviously the Joel scene is the most jarring scene
Hmm.
still out of all scenes. I would say. I mean, that's one of the most jarring scenes. Jesse getting shot and killed is
It's a
very.
close runner up.
It is. It is very close because and it's I would say it's right there with how they did the Mel scene in the TV show, right? Like
Yes.
you just realize like this woman's never going to be a mother.
Hmm. Well,
He's
now
never going to
Jesse's
see
gonna be a
he's never going
father.
to see his son. He's never going to see his child. So that's like a huge like moment in the game that like a lot of people talk about. My buddy Luke had texted me about that and he's like no matter how many times I watch that scene or play that scene, he's like
It's
it's just
hard.
so jarring. He's like I had my friends who had never played the game reaching out to me like, "Dude, why didn't you tell me this was going to happen?" He was like, "Cuz you just have to watch it."
You have to watch it.
Um
It would ruin the surprise if I told you, "Oh, Jesse died." I mean,
yeah.
it would ruin it.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is my mother, she actually didn't react the way I thought she would. I thought she'd be like, "Oh, sugar honey iced tea." Like, I thought she would react that. She really didn't. She was just like, I think it was because it was so sudden, she didn't really have time to react to that moment because we're already in the moment of, "Oh, Abby is back."
Yeah.
She didn't really have time to like uh um feel that moment of like, holy crap, Jesse is dead,
Yeah.
because she's just like, okay, and then Abby's right there,
Yeah.
so she didn't really have time to soak in the moment of like, holy crap, Jesse just got shot. What she also said is that the where he was shot, she
Mhm.
thought that, well, he could survive that. And I mean, well, yeah, he was shot. The bullet looked like it went through his cheek.
Right.
And, she was thinking, oh, maybe he could survive that. But my mom, he's laying on the ground, his eyes are open.
He ain't moving.
He ain't moving, he's dead. And okay, I guess this isn't that important, but like when Jesse was shot, was it more in his temple?
Yeah, I think so. I think he ended up getting shot more in like an area that would like directly kill him if he got shot in the
Yes.
game.
In the game, yes,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. I'm like, I told my mom, Jesse is dead. Like, he got shot like right on his cheek, and like, and his eyes are open. He ain't moving. He dead. But I
Yeah.
had to tell her that after, but she didn't react the way I thought she would. But yeah, now she was more focused on the fact that like, holy crap, Abby is back. Abby
Yeah.
is here.
And you get a good scene with Abby because she looks over and realizes when Ellie climbs out, this is the girl that I let live.
Hmm.
And she's like, I let you live. Like, why are you like? It's one of those things where like, and again, and I think it's because there's a couple things, right? The way that she viciously killed Joel,
Yes.
she thinks this is a statement to everybody.
Don't mess
Like,
with us.
don't mess with us. Like, this is what we did to like your toughest, roughest warrior.
Hmm.
Like your toughest guy. This man who
Took
is
out an entire
took
hospital.
out and again, and nobody knows that story but Tommy. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like he's the only one in Jackson that knows anything about that. So and obviously I imagine Maria would know as well because it's
Oh,
hard.
probably.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's his
Maria
wife.
and Tommy are probably the only two people that, would know
No,
that because one, Tommy would never be able to keep that secret from his
no.
wife. And I'm sure Joel, he probably told Joel like, hey, we
Joe.
got to tell them that. And he
Yeah.
and I could see them both knowing that. Um, I think Ellie even mentions that like Tommy and Maria and Joel were the only people that knew about that when she's telling Dina about her being bitten. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so I think she says the only people that ever knew in Jackson was Tommy and Maria.
Okay.
Um,
That sounds
so
right.
so that like for Abby, like in this moment, you can see in her face this like utter confusion of like
I
it's like
let you
confusion
live.
to almost like fear to anger all in one moment. It's the
Yeah,
confusion of like, I let you live. You saw what I did to him, but then also fear like, how crazy is this person to come try to get me after I did that to their loved one?
yes.
Like, how crazy is this person? And then kind of the anger of just like, wait, you have killed all my friends. Like, I'm not letting you go this time. Like, this is
Hmm.
over with. And again, she pulls the gun. And then you hear the gunshot, but the fade to black beforehand. So a really good fade to black gunshot. So you think it's over with. You think she shoots Ellie, but then you get this Abby Seattle day one. She's in, I believe that's the
Library.
well,
Oh, are you
she's
talking about the football stadium?
yeah. So she's at, I believe that's is that still called Safeco Field? What is that one called? What is the all the Seattle Seahawks fans that listen to us
Well,
are freaking
I
out
don't know.
right now.
Oh yeah,
Um,
because Seahawks. Oh my
because
gosh.
I should know what the
He should
um
know because he's a sports fanatic, so he's bringing great shame.
yeah, but I don't care about the Seahawks. And they've changed it so
Well,
many
you don't care
times.
about the you don't. Oh, okay. Well, you don't care about the Bears, but you still know their field.
Yeah, piece of shit stadium.
Hey, sugar honey iced tea, sir.
I
We're
said what
keeping
I
this
said.
PG.
I said what I said.
Penis.
It's called Lumen Field is what it's called now. But I believe so that's the reason why, right? Because it would have been Quest Field during the time the show airs.
Ah,
Like if
got it.
not when it airs, but in the time frame that
Time
would be
frame.
was built, it was Quest Field because well, no, I don't even know if it would have been so it would have just been Seahawks Stadium at that time because Quest Field was the change of the name in June 2004. So and this
Okay.
takes place in
And
October of 2003 in the show.
oh, I thought it was later, much later than
In the
that.
game, it's October of 2013.
That's what I thought.
Yes, so the game is 2013, the show is 2003.
Oh, oh, I
Yeah.
did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's where that changes a little bit.
Change. Okay.
Um
Okay.
because it's 2013 in the game.
Game. Okay. I'm like, wait, I thought this was supposed because they try to make the game the setting of the game similar to real time, like our time. They made it,
Right.
yeah. So
But
that's why I'm
that's
like,
yeah, so the issue so it would have been CenturyLink Field in the game technically because that's it got
okay,
renamed CenturyLink Field in 2011. But on the
okay.
show, it'd still be Seattle Seahawks Stadium at that point.
Well, it's the Seahawks stadium, folks. I mean, I
It
guess at
is,
the in
yes.
an apocalyptic world, nobody's gonna give a damn about the name.
I would.
It's a football stadium.
I would give a name. I would care.
It's a football
I just
stadium.
researched it for that same reason. I would care.
But it's the apocalypse.
Because you would just
Nobody's
be
gonna
like, you'd
care.
be like, oh, it's this stadium. I'd be like, shut up, Bo.
I
It's
would say that.
CenturyLink.
I'm like, okay, we got to go to the stadium or we got to go back home. Well, let's say our home base is the stadium. We got to go back to the home base. I'm not going to be like, we got to go back to Seahawks Stadium where the Seahawks play.
Yes, you
We're
would.
used to. No, I
Yes, you
wouldn't.
would. Or I'd leave you out to dry. I'd be like,
You wouldn't leave me out to dry. You wouldn't have the
send him to
hearts.
the clickers.
You wouldn't have the heart. I would survive for one
Send
because
them to the clickers. No,
you
you would get
noisy as
bitten.
hell. You noisy as hell. I'm
Not at all.
quiet. I'm quiet.
I don't think so.
No, you're the aggressive. You're the what's it called? You are the brute. You come in full force, just da 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 da. Da. I'm like the stealth. I'm the ninja. I'm quiet. I use a knife. That's me. See, he knows. He knows. He's giving me a face of he knows I'm right.
You're not right. Not at
I'm
all.
right. I could kill those clickers, no problem. You would have a problem.
I wouldn't have a problem.
You would. You would, because you want to go full force. Da 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 da. Machine gun, kill them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you don't do that.
I would know what I'm doing.
No, you wouldn't, because then you would attract more clickers and more zombies by your da 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 da. By doing that, you would attract more. With me, with the knife, I'm quiet as hell. I can guess through.
Yeah, but you're also like clumsy.
Okay, I can't argue with that.
So,
I am a little clumsy. If I just lose some beer fat, then I wouldn't be as clumsy.
well, in the post-apocalypse, I don't think there's gonna be a lot of beer.
There's not going to be a lot of beer and there's going to be a lot of time to waste, so I would have
That's
time to
right.
work out.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So then, reinforcing the idea, I wouldn't be as clumsy. I wouldn't be as clumsy. Yeah.
We would see. We would have to
We
put that.
Me and Ethan has thought about this through very much if there was ever a apocalypse, a zombie apocalypse, what we would do, or even if it was the Last of Us environments.
Go into the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Yep,
100%. The
yep,
UP is the place to go.
yep. And I agree with him. The only hard part would be the winters, but we can make it work.
You can live through winter. You just get firewood There's plenty of trees up there.
Oh yeah, that's what I mean. Like, yeah, there's
Yeah.
you can live through a cold winter, but if it's
Hell
hot,
yeah.
you're screwed.
That's why you
Because
live up there. It's not very hot ever.
well, yeah, I'm just saying you're reinforcing what I'm saying.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, for gosh sakes.
There was one summer I was up there where it was miserable. And it's because there's obviously none of the houses have AC, which there wouldn't be AC anyway.
No, but that's what the
But
water's for.
exactly. So while we were there, there was like one time where it was like we actually ended up getting like AC window units for like
Nice.
one summer. Cause like the first summer I was there, like I shit you not, this is real. This is a real story.
Sugar honey iced tea's not.
I said what I said. It was like July in the UP and it got down to like 48 degrees
That's awesome.
during the day. I'm not this isn't at night overnight because like
Mm,
it's been pretty chilly. Well, not chilly here at night, but it's been comfortable at night here in
mm.
Tennessee during May right now, which I know it just means that June and July are going to be scorchers. I'm going to hate my life, but
Hmm.
um I remember that was like my first summer out there. It was like the third week of July and it was like in the 40s and I was
Mm,
like this is amazing. I love this. This is
perfect.
great stuff. And then that next summer that we were there it got up into like triple digits. It was wild.
Wow.
And it was
Dang.
hot, hot, hot.
Yeah, see, if it's triple digits like that, then that's when we were gonna be like, okay, it's gonna be a
Yeah.
tough day, or maybe a
And
tough couple of days. Spend
and
time in the water.
I'm out there trying to shoot like sports videos over the summer. And I'm like,
He's dying.
I was probably the only person that was built for it from being from the South. Like most of the kids were like dehydrating. And I was like, y'all got to hydrate these kids.
All right, fair, fair,
Yeah.
fair.
So, but
Okay,
yeah. So the UP
adorable.
would be the place to go.
Yep, Europe's place to go. Didn't you say that an area where there's a bomb shelter or something? Didn't or
It's like
did you say?
Wyoming, right? The whole state of Wyoming is pretty
Oh, is it
much
Wyoming?
people.
Oh, I thought you said like you either know somebody or maybe you said you were gonna build one.
I would build one in a heartbeat. Yeah.
That he'll build a bomb shelter.
Yeah, in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Well, you better build me one too.
We'll see.
I'll help build it.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna be a very good asset for you because I have a zombie book on how to survive.
Okay. Well,
And that's gonna be our lifesaver. I see it right now. I see the book.
we'll
It's
have
on my
tryouts.
bookshelf.
We'll have tryouts
You have tryouts? What the
for my
Okay.
posse.
You and I both know I would do very well because I know what I'm doing.
We'll see.
How dare you insult me like that?
Season two, The Last of Us. I would say this.
Oh boy.
Season I thought season one was better.
I agree.
I thought season two was like I thought season two was very good in the sense of you can see that it doesn't have to just be the game. Where season
Yes.
one, other than there was a couple things obviously that were different in season one from the game to the show, all that good stuff. I mean,
Like always.
yeah, you get all that like the character of Bill
Yeah.
and you get Henry, who they used the young man who
Yeah. Is deaf.
is deaf and they used American Sign Language. So like they like all those things, the stuff that they added and changed was like really good.
Yes.
I thought for season two, I thought that I understand where there's some grief, some gripes because the game is so dark
Yes.
that sometimes you get way too much of like this like brightness in the show that you
Hmm.
get like a weird situation where it's like everything's a little bit more like
It's not as dark. It's a
exactly. And
little
I
bit
think that's where
more.
we get that frustration from people.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't want your entire season to be dark and depressing. I mean, I
I
get it. The
agree.
world is dark, it's depressing, but I'm just saying, like,
I
you got to
agree.
add some light into it.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
I
I
see
agree
what you,
with you.
yeah, but I think season one is more the action pack. Here's what the world is like. It's a crap show. But season two, I feel like is more like character development and more about the characters than
Yeah.
the act because we on it like season one, it was a lot about the zombies. It really was. There was a lot about the zombies. But season two, the zombies were not the focus at all. Like you hardly ever saw them in season two. It was more of character development.
I agree.
So season three, it probably is going to be a mixture of both, where there's going to be some character development, but there's also going to be a lot of action with zombies, with the scars and the wolves, a lot of war stuff. I think season three will be a little bit more action packed.
Now, this obviously ends our kind of where we're watching shows with The Last of Us for episodes of Random Schmidt. This Saturday,
Oh boy.
they're having the To Dumb, if you've seen that, on Netflix, where they're going to show special trailers for shows that are coming out there like this year.
Stranger
Um,
Things.
so Stranger Things 5 has been on there, Wednesday season 2. So
Oh
there's I
gosh.
think One Piece, which I don't watch that, but that's like an anime show that they do. It's like real they do like a live action version of the anime show One Piece. So To Dumb is supposed to be like kind of like a summer festival of like, here's what's coming the rest of
I
this year
mean,
and into next year. Um,
okay.
I think that's what I'm going to gear up to try to watch. It should be 7 p.m. Central Time, so 7 p.m. Central Time for you as well.
Okay.
That may be something that we talk about next week, just seeing the new shows that are coming out, especially if there's something for Stranger Things during
Okay.
that, because I think that's going to be the first actual trailer for season 5 that we get.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's where the season trailer is coming from. Because I did see on social media that the first tease for Stranger Things is coming out very, very soon.
Yeah,
And it must be that. Okay.
should be at Tadum. So
Okay.
that
Yep.
is what we're going to check
You're
out.
gonna you're gonna have to watch it because I'm gonna be busy Saturday night. So uh I will not be able to watch it.
You're gonna have to watch it at some point.
Well, can I watch it on like Facebook or YouTube?
You can watch it on Netflix.
I'm gonna have to ask my mom for the password.
What you'll probably be able to do is you should be able to like on social media, I'm sure they'll put like the highlight stuff.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, your boy's going to a rock concert, so not going to be available. So I might just watch it on. I might just have to look on social media, or Lord knows you're gonna probably send me a reel or something about it.
Definitely will.
He never sends me enough.
I'm gonna send you all the Costco stuff now. Now that I know that you don't know who the Costco people are.
I don't know who the Costco. Costco is just.
Don't
It's
worry.
just.
Don't worry. I got you. I'll take care of you.
It's just about the food.
You'll see.
Okay.
All right. Well, Bo, I've appreciated you for the past 7 weeks talking a little bit about The Last of Us with me.
Yes.
Season 2, obviously, in the books. We'll keep our eyes out for more news on season 3. We'll have to change up what we talk about on this show.
Yep.
So we'll have different things that are not going to always be pop culture based moving forward.
Oh
Trying to
boy.
we might just do a whole show on the Costco guys
Oh boy.
after
Oh
you
boy.
watch all of it.
It might be educational for me in the next
Exactly.
coming episodes. Maybe that's what Ethan's gonna do. We're gonna educate Bo more now on what
I
he should
agree.
know.
I agree.
Yeah, because he's been trying to do that for a while, folks. I
Yes,
mean, he knows how uncultured I am. I'm still uncultured.
correct. You are.
Speaking of which, you still got to get the new Hunger Game book.
I do need to get that.
It's a good book. Go ahead, do your
About our guy
finisher.
Hamish. All right.
Yep,
Well,
do your
Bo,
finisher.
thank you for your time. Thank you for another week of Random Schmidt. We want to thank everyone who's been listening with us and enjoying this journey of The Last of Us 2. Again, for all of you who are listening, watching, don't forget if you're listening on all the streaming areas for podcasts, Apple, Spotify, all of them. And then, of course, we have implemented the YouTube side of this as well. If you look for Schmitty Productions on YouTube, you'll be able to find all of them. I'll be putting all my podcast on that as their own kind of little separate thing, so you can get a chance to watch those here and listen to us talk a little bit about The Last of Us and other pop culture stuff along the way. So, again, I want to thank Bo and thank all of you for listening. Again, thank you so much, and we hope that you enjoyed this episode. We hope that you join us again next time.